Hi everyone, I'm Michaela Goose and this is the ntTV online report. At least 19 people have been killed and over 1 million homes and businesses are without power after tornadoes ripped through the south on Easter Sunday. There are more than 40 reports of tornadoes across many southern states, including Texas. John Lorick has more on how much damage these tornadoes caused as well as where it is headed.
Several tornadoes tear through Mississippi and Louisiana on Easter Sunday, overturning vehicles and damaging hundreds of structures.
We saw the tornado. We could tell it was going to be about a mile or so south of us, but you could hear it, and we knew that it was going to be bad.
Numerous deaths are already confirmed by the Mississippi State Emergency Management Agency. Governor Tate Reeves has issued a state of emergency due to the storms. A state of emergency is also declared in neighboring Louisiana.
We have hundreds of lines down, and this is going to take a long time for us to recover from. We're not going to recover from this in 2 or 3 days, not even 2 or 3 weeks.
Officials in Monroe say at least 200 homes are damaged from the storms, and residents there are advised to maintain social distancing due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
We want the stay-at-home order to continue because we don't want individuals walking and creating some challenges for themselves injury-wise. We don't want them driving over some of these power lines.
The storm system, which also tore through Alabama and Georgia, is heading up the East Coast, posing a threat all the way to Pennsylvania, with some areas seeing possible tornadoes, hail, and flash flooding. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Once again, the East Coast is now under the gun. More than 39 million people in across about 11 states and the District of Columbia are now under the threat of severe weather. It was officially announced by the CDC that the United States has surpassed Italy as the country with the most COVID-19 cases in the world. According to the CDC, the U.S. has over 525,000 cases and over 20,000 deaths since Friday. Texas has over 10,000 cases reported. Yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott re-signed the disaster declaration for all Texas counties, extending it into next month. Now, this does not mean that the stay-at-home order will continue for another month. It just continues to make sure that Texas will have the adequate resources and capabilities to protect public health. The debate over when the United States will reopen its borders is starting to get heated. CNN's Athena Jones has more.
The clock is ticking toward President Trump's possible May 1st target to end the virtual national shutdown. And Trump is seemingly growing anxious to declare the country open again amid the coronavirus pandemic. But some state leaders worry a push to ease social distancing could cause even more harm.
I fear if we open up too early and we have not sufficiently made that health recovery and cracked the back of this virus, that we could be pouring gasoline on the fire, even inadvertently.
There's still a long way to go. We're not getting out of this in a couple weeks or probably even in a couple months. So we got to keep this momentum going.
In New York State, which has the highest number of cases anywhere in the world and the most deaths in the country, Governor Andrew Cuomo says the human cost of the crisis can't be compared to any amount of money lost in the economy.
We need a public health strategy that is safe, that is consistent with an economic strategy. The last thing we want to see is an uptick in that infection rate and an uptick in those numbers that we work so hard to bring down.
Dr. Anthony Fauci suggesting the easing of some restrictions could happen as soon as next month.
It is not going to be a light switch that we say, okay, it is now June, July, or whatever, click, the light switch goes back on. It's going to be depending where you are in the country.
But the director of the institute that created models cited by the White House cautions that lifting social distancing protocols too soon could be detrimental.
We don't think the capability in the states exists yet to deal with that volume of cases. And so by July or August, we could be back in the same situation we are now.
A New York Times report this weekend outlined cases of the president downplaying warnings from top health officials on the dangers of a possible pandemic, saying it took Trump 3 weeks after the first recommendation to implement national social distancing strategies. Fauci admitting beginning mitigation efforts earlier could have saved additional American lives.
But what goes into those kinds of decisions is complicated. Obviously, if we had right from the very beginning shut everything down, it may have been a little bit different. But there was a lot of pushback about shutting things down back then.
We'll keep you updated as the debates continue. Now, a show of solidarity. First responders put on a light display outside South Texas Health System in McAllen. Law enforcement, fire departments, and EMS showed up outside the hospital and turned on their emergency lights. All of them, plus healthcare workers, are on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. This was just a reminder that they're all in this fight together.
For many of the patients in the hospital, they have no visitors because of the change in visitor restrictions related to COVID-19. So this is one way of showing the patients and the staff that we're still one community in this together.
The hospital has said that they are continuing to make more events like this happen to further tell people how strong of a community they are. Now, just further proving how much times are changing right now, baseball is America's pastime. Nothing beats sitting at a ballpark on a Saturday afternoon with a steaming hot dog and a nice cold drink. But did you know that there is only one manufacturer in the United States that makes their baseball gloves here in this nation? Nakona Ball Gloves. Haven't heard of them? It's about 90 miles north of Fort Worth, and it founded in 1926, producing fine leather products. Then in 1932, they switched to sporting goods, and the rest is baseball history. When their big competitors started to outsource production of the gloves to other countries, the company management said no. And now, in the middle of a global pandemic, this little piece of Texas might make another kind of history. Nakona Ball Gloves is ready to throw a switch up and make the move to producing face masks. They are striving to fill this huge need for this critical protective equipment, and all they're waiting on is the government to say okay. We will keep you updated as this transition continues. That's all I have for you today on ntTV's online report. Tune in tomorrow afternoon at 5.